Hey guys, welcome back to another Facebook Live event for the Neuro Collaborative. My name is Sarah King. Sorry we're a few minutes late. We're having some tech glitches on our end, but welcome back to another Facebook Live. As I said, my name is Sarah King. I'm one of the co-founders of the Neuro Collaborative, and our mission is to bring together like-minded neuro health professionals in a way that advances your career and your practice and grows you professionally. So if you're new, welcome. Please introduce yourself in the comment section below. I'd love to hear who you are and how you're tuning in tonight. And if you want to learn more about the Neuro Collaborative, you can go to www.iloveneuro.com. And today we're going to talk about a topic that's close to my heart because my practice, Invigorate Physical Therapy and Wellness, is an in-home private practice, private pay neuro-PT physical therapy practice. And today I'm going to share with you a little bit about how I run my practice, the ins and outs of a home-based therapy practice. And if you don't think a neuro or an in-home model may be up your alley, I want you to reconsider and just give this a listen, because I didn't think that my physical therapy private practice would be an in-home model either. I actually started there because it was more affordable and it was a small step in the big direction that I wanted to go. And so I would say even if your goal is to launch a brick-and-mortar clinic, the in-home model may be a great way to launch into the world of private practice because of the low startup and the low cost of overhead. So if you want to read more in depth about this topic, I also wrote a blog post that's on the Neuro Collaborative website, and you can go to neurocollaborative.com/blog and you'll see it there at the top. It's titled Logistics of Running an In-Home Private Pay Neurological PT Practice. And you can read up on that, and if you have comments, you can leave them in the comment section below. Me and the rest of the founders will be monitoring that and answering your questions. So if you have any questions as we go along, I'd love to hear them. I'm just going to take a little peek here at the page and make sure we're doing okay. All right. So, we're doing good. Okay. So as you guys trickle in here, just introduce yourself. I'm going to go ahead and get started. A little bit of a background about Invigorate Physical Therapy and Wellness, which is my private practice. I see clients 100% in the home. I go to them either in their house or in their office. And so I don't have any physical location at all. I'm broadcasting from my house, which is where I do a lot of my Facebook Lives anyway. And my practice is 100% specialized in seeing clients who have been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. It's 100% private pay, which means that I don't personally accept any insurance, including Medicare, and I see people 100% out of pocket. And I also don't do, this is something that differs between me and say Claire and even Julie and Aaron at Reactive, is I don't do any group training classes either. I would, except Austin is amazing and has a nonprofit here in town that offers about 13 classes a week just for people with Parkinson's and their caregivers. It's a great nonprofit called Power for Parkinson's, probably coming to your city soon. But I don't do any in-home, or I don't do any group training because there's already that available for free. And to be honest, they do a great job. So I get questions about my model really often. I actually ended up writing an ebook titled How to Start Your Dream Practice on the Side, 12 Steps to Your Bare Minimum Launch, because I got so many people asking me questions about just the bare bones startup of how you get going from idea to your first patient. And so today I'm not going to cover those in detail. That include, the ebook talks about whether, what you need for your liability insurance, how to set up your payment systems, making a website, tools like EMR, fax, email, that whole thing. And so if you're looking for the bare bones, tonight might not be your best bet, but you can go to invigoratept.com/dreampracticeots on the side and get a copy there. Of course, I always appreciate your support. But today my goal is to go a little bit deeper in underneath the bare bones and really talk about a few questions that I've gotten through Invigorate and through the Neuro Collaborative that's specific to the neuro population in an in-home model. So I'm going to talk about a little bit about the free consultation call that I offer to all of my clients. I had 2 of them today. I do a free 20-minute consultation call. I'm going to talk about that and how to run that. Overcoming the awkwardness and building trust before and during your initial evaluation. Then, of course, I'm going to talk a little bit about Medicare waivers because I got a question about Medicare. I'm not going to dive too deep today, just kind of give you an idea of what I do. And then also I had a question about travel fees. So someone asked, can you post a link to your ebook? I can. I can do that maybe after I get off the live. I'll put it in the comment section below. But again, it's invigoratept.com/dreampracticeots on the side. Sweet. Okay, so my first question, a lot of these questions came from Candace Henson, who's in Oklahoma. She asked quite a few questions, and I was happy to answer them here today. The first one was, what does a consultation call involve? And so I offer a free 20-minute consultation call to anyone who's interested in working with me to make sure that we're a good fit. And my goal of this initial consultation is not to sell anyone. I don't hop on the call and immediately say, you should work with me because of XYZ. I don't want to work with everyone. I want to work with the people who are the most motivated, committed, hardworking, and also who fit my business model and my program. So, of course, out of pocket is a little different model, and I want to work with those people. So, as a brief overview, how it works is you go to my website, you click on Get Started, you fill out your information, then you get an email with a survey in it, a 5 or 6 question survey about your symptoms and what you're looking for as a client. And then once you submit that, you get another email that says, I'll be in touch with you within 24 to 48 hours. So I make sure that when I get that notification to my email that someone submitted their survey, I give them a call within the 24-hour or 48-hour period. And, my goal is to introduce myself and just talk to them a little bit about what they need. We've got 20 minutes to talk about, what they're looking for, what they're struggling with. I talk with them about what's going on with them, and when it's appropriate, I mention how Invigorate may help them with those things that they're trying to achieve, what they're struggling with. And something that I talk about in the blog post that I wrote is I never ask or tell people that they need physical therapy. People will call me and say, I want to be able to lift my grandkids up over my head and walk with them down the beach. I'm like, great. So I help people do that. I think that we could put together a plan that helps you build your arm strength, your balance, so that you're confident when you play with your grandkids. I never say, you need physical therapy for your Parkinson's symptoms, because almost nobody gets excited about that or is really emotionally touched. So I go into that in the blog a little bit more in detail. But, when we're talking, I also might find that people aren't appropriate for my model, or maybe just not at a right place for physical therapy. And I always make sure that when I get off the call, either they're signed up for an evaluation with me, or they have resources that they need, whether it's another Parkinson's PT in town, which I'm going to touch on here in a second, or maybe just some more information about nutrition or stress management, or support groups in the area. So I always make sure that I give them good value from this consultation call. And I would say 2 out of 3 times people book an evaluation with me, because by the time they've contacted you, filled out the survey, they're ready to get started, and unless they've really misunderstood what you do, which is usually maybe 1 out of 3 people. So during that consultation call, I typically let them bring up asking about cost, asking about scheduling, and when they do, I explain that I'm a private pay provider, which means I see you in your home out of pocket. And if they ask me if I accept Medicare, I always make it very clear that I don't, and that if you sign up to do physical therapy with me, you also always have the option of getting skilled physical therapy from someone who is a Medicare provider. People need to know that they have that option legally. For me in my practice, I need to tell them that they have that option of getting it covered through insurance. And if they say, no, I would rather come to you, that covers, in my definition, free will. They've said they've contacted you and they've told you, okay, I understand I can get this paid for by Medicare elsewhere, but I'm willing to pay for it with you, and I accept that. And then they sign a waiver at the initial evaluation that says that they are, yes, I can get all of this in a 20-minute phone call. I'm getting very efficient. And so then we, sorry, I got super sidetracked, but and I explained to them that they are waiving their right to submit a claim to Medicare. And usually by that point, by the time they sign that waiver, we've gone over it 3 or 4 times, and that's how I run my practice. There's some more details in there that I can go into a little bit down the line, but if you're curious about how I address Medicare beneficiaries, that's how I do it. So this consultation call is really about making sure that by the time I make it to someone's house, I know that they want me to be there. They know exactly what's required of them. And, we're all on the same page so that we can trust each other and we can just jump right in and not have to, finagle around. Okay, so yes, somebody had asked, can you really get that all into a 20-minute call? And I can. At some point, maybe I'll post my script that I go over. It goes really fast. Most people are ready to get started by the time they reach out. Okay, the next question was also from Candace. Do you provide a free evaluation? If not, how do you get people to fully jump in when you haven't established a relationship yet? How do you prevent a drive to a patient's house without pay? So I feel like I answered most of that question in the first. I do all of that with the consultation call. So I make sure that we're a good fit personality-wise and financially. We build rapport together and make sure that there's no surprises at the initial evaluation. And as a side note, a free evaluation, just from a business owner's perspective, you are providing skilled care that is very valuable. So while a free screening is one thing, doing a couple tests to see how their balance is, to completely make a free evaluation, that's a waste of your time. And honestly, you're a skilled, valuable healthcare provider and you should charge for your time. So make sure that you're not doing free evaluations, because I'm not actually even sure that's legal to do it is legal, pro bono, but you'll lose out over time if you do free evaluations completely. Okay, on to question number 3. Let's stroll along here. So the question is, do you stay within a certain driving radius or charge a travel fee? So Austin is where I practice, Austin, Texas, and it's set up so that most of my clients are about a 20-minute drive, 15 to 20 minutes drive from each other. And my default typically is to stay within that radius where I only have to go about 15 to 20 minutes because that's included. It's kind of worked into my pricing. If I do have to go outside of my radius that I set, which is about a 20-mile radius around Austin, I charge a small fee per session, which is $15 travel fee per session. And that's if they're in a reasonable 15 to 20 minute drive outside of my closest client to them. If they are really far outside, if I have to drive more than 20 minutes, definitely more than 30 minutes to get to them, I usually refer them to another Parkinson's physical therapist in town, just because it's not financially viable for them to be paying me $30 to $50 in addition to their daily session. Usually people are pretty turned off by the travel fee, to be honest. If they are really desperate or they find it really valuable for you to come to them, then they might be more willing to do it. But most of the time, I end up going to see them in their home. or I just send them, instead of seeing them in their home, I send them to a physical therapist. But I did want to say that if you are considering setting up a travel fee, make sure that you look at what you want to make per hour. So your drive time, you should still be reimbursed for it. I've worked mine into my rates. But if you have to drive an extra 20 minutes or 15 minutes, let's make it easy, a quarter of an hour. If you want to be paid $100 an hour, then your travel fee should be $25 per session, since you're driving that extra time and you need to charge for your time. So you can put it out there, and if they're not willing to pay the travel fee, trust me, there are plenty of people in your city who would be willing to see you within your radius. So don't feel, I once took a client who was a 45-minute drive away from where I was at, and I thought that I needed to see everyone, and it was an hour and a half round trip, and I only charged like $15 travel fee, and it was a wonderful client, but a waste of my efforts. So hope that answers your question about travel fee. You could also split the city into 2 different days, where Monday, Wednesday, Friday you're doing the north side of town, Tuesday, Thursday you go south side. You could also pair up clients in the same vicinity and maybe do group training a little bit, or a class, and just turn it into a class so that your drive is actually worth the reimbursement. So I know that Claire does a lot of classes, and she may have worked in her travel fees somehow. I see some thumbs up. Okay, so that is question number 3. We are flying through here. And then my last question that I got was, what did you use for your home exercise program handouts? I don't have a set software system that I use, and maybe some of the other NeuroCollab ladies can chime in here. And Claire, since you're on the road sometimes, you know, my home exercise programs I give to clients depends on the client. Sometimes I'll record a YouTube video or 2 and give it to them in a playlist so that they can follow along on YouTube. Sometimes I'll give them a PDF handout, especially if I'm doing like the Power Moves program. I'll give them the PDF handout, or have them buy the Power Moves book. I also, something that I found to be really helpful is giving people a printed weekly schedule with the exercises written in each day, really specifically what they need to do, and that seems to work well, at least for the Parkinson's population. So I don't have a home exercise program, and I wanted to say that you don't need a lot of fancy stuff to be an in-home practitioner. You can go really fancy and get all the software and good stuff, but you just need the bare bones. You need your hands, your brain, and a car that functions is really helpful for the in-home model as well. So unless anyone has any questions, if you have a question, post it in the comment section below. Even if you're not catching this live, you can go ahead and ask your question and we'll come back to it. And make sure that you go over to iloveneuro.com and subscribe to our newsletter. We would love if you did that. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube, friend us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter. When you sign up for our newsletter, you automatically get sent the 7 steps for carving out your neuro niche in a non-neuro world. It's an hour presentation that the Neuro Collaborative ladies and I did a few weeks ago in California. So you get that video free. You get some Excel spreadsheets from Julie, our Excel master. And then you'll also have an opportunity to fill out a brief 3-question survey to let us know what topics you're struggling with as a neuro nerd and a neuro PT. So we'd love to hear what you want to hear about in the future for future Facebook Lives and blog posts and events and all that good stuff. So we'd be really grateful if you could fill it out. The survey is at iloveneuro.com/survey. And finally, if you found this content valuable, please share it with anyone else that you know who has an I Love Neuro spirit. This is a collaborative. There's power and strength in numbers. So share your friends, bring your friends in. Soon we will have gear to share, water bottles and coffee mugs, and I Love Neuro socks. So keep an eye open for that one too. And we will be doing Facebook Lives, I think, every other week instead of every week. We're still going to do next week with Erin, I believe, and then we'll go to once every other week. So if you guys have questions, post them below. If not, we will see you next time. All right, bye-bye.